Kepribadian.
So the movie opens with an injured girl, terrified, running through the forest and rushing into a house. The moment she enters, it feels like the house belongs to her. She quickly hides under the bed, shaking with fear. A woman is chasing her, knocking on the door and calling out, "Gayatri, come out." Eventually the door opens and Gayatri panics even more. But strangely, the woman who enters can't find her and leaves. Gayatri lets out a sigh of relief, but only for a few seconds. Suddenly, a demonic hand clamps over her mouth, and in the very next moment, we see some strange force dragging Gayatri back into the forest. The scene cuts to two people playing chess. We can clearly see the man, but not the girl sitting across from him. The man says, "Miss Gayatri is extremely professional at her work. Who knows how long it'll take to fix everything?" The girl replies, "You'll have to be patient." So the man asks, "How much patience?" "It's been 20 years of waiting." What they're actually talking about isn't revealed. The scene cuts again, and now we're introduced to a girl named Devi, who is very poor. To support her household, she works installing internet connections. Her mom is mentally unstable, and most of Devi's time goes into taking care of her. Her mother keeps repeating the same thing. One day, they'll come, they'll take you away, they'll hurt you, and separate you from me. Devi hugs her and says, "No one is coming, Mom. You've been saying this since I was a child, that they'll take both of us away." But no one ever came, and no one will today either. Her mom is also extremely worried about Devi's brother. In a panic, she calls him and asks, "Where are you?" Sina replies, "I'm with my boss, Diem, working the night shift." But he's lying. He's actually with his boss's wife, doing this for extra money. However, this might be the end of it, because the boss's wife tells him that his boss has found out everything. When Sina gets home, Devi scolds him badly, because every time he returns like this, it worsens their mother's condition. The next morning, Devi leaves for work. She has to install an internet connection at the police station. But the inspector refuses her service because Devi's brother had an affair with his wife, and he takes out his anger on Devi. Now it's nighttime. Devi is sleeping with her mother. Suddenly, she feels like someone is behind the curtain. She goes outside to check, but there's no one there. But suddenly, two masked men break into her house. One of them ties Devi up, while the other starts torturing her mom right in front of her eyes. At that very moment, Sina's boss calls these unknown men and asks about Sina. They tell him that Sina isn't home. Devi quickly realizes that everything happening to them is because of Sina. Then Durham orders his men, since Sina isn't there, kill her mother so he understands what he's done. Following their boss's command, they brutally drown Sina's mom in a bathtub, killing her slowly and painfully. Devi can do nothing but silently watch her mother die right in front of her. By morning, the police arrive at their house, but shockingly, the inspector turns out to be Sina's boss himself. Being a powerful and wealthy man, no case is filed against him. He faces no consequences, while their lives are completely destroyed. Now, Devi starts pouring all her anger onto Sina. She wants to throw him out of the house. But if she does that, where would she go? She has no one except her brother. That night, feeling broken, Devi starts going through her mom's belongings and finds some old photographs. In one of the pictures, her dad is also there, and it's revealed that her dad is none other than Mr. Agan, the same man we saw at the beginning of the movie playing chess with a woman. While she's looking at the photos, suddenly the lights in her room go out. She feels something strange, like someone is sitting right behind her. When she turns around, she sees her mom sitting there. Terrified, she freezes, because her mom is already dead. Suddenly, the lights come back on, and her mom disappears. Devi convinces herself that it was just her imagination. The next morning, Mr. Ahan, Devi and Sina's father, comes to meet them. But Devi refuses to talk to him, because he abandoned them years ago and they suffered a lot because of him. Mr. Ahan has come to take his children with him, but Devi refuses to go. However, Sina knows they have no choice. Because of what he did, their mom is dead, he has lost his job, and they have no money left. How will they even survive in this house now? For the time being, Mr. Try to explain things to your sister. I'll come back for you. That night, Debbie goes to bed. But suddenly, She hears the sound of a tap running outside. She assumes Sina must have left it on. She steps out and turns one tap off, but then, from inside the bathroom, she hears another tap turn on. This time, along with the sound of running water, she also hears her mom's voice. It sounds terrifying and desperate. Her mom calls out, "Debbie, save me." As soon as Debbie opens the bathroom door, she sees her mom's dead body lying in the bathtub. The next moment, as she turns around, her mom suddenly appears behind her, grabbing her face. Now her mom looks even more horrifying. Screaming, she clutches Debbie's face and says, "Davy, save me, I'm in danger." And just like that, Debbie wakes up in terror. We realize it was all just a nightmare. Hearing her scream, Sina rushes into the room and tries to calm her down. He says, "Davy, we can't live in this house anymore. This place is filled with memories of our mom. We need to leave." Seeing Devi's fragile mental state, she finally agrees. The next morning, Mr. Agan arrives to take the kids with him. Quietly, Sina and Devi pack their things and leave with him. Soon, they arrive at their new house. There, their dad introduces them to ST, the housemaid who takes care of everything. Inside, they meet their grandmother, Mrs. Gayatri. The same Gayatri we saw at the beginning of the movie. Despite everything that happened to her, she's still alive. Later during dinner, Gayatri explains a family tradition. In their family, the house and the entire business have always been run by the women, generation after generation. Women lead the family. She tells Debbie, "After me, all of this will be your responsibility." That night, Sina starts exploring the house. While wandering around, he reaches a strange area where dozens of bizarre pictures are pinned to a wall. Some of them even have crosses marked over the women's faces. Suddenly, a door attached to that wall starts banging loudly as if someone is trapped inside. Just as Sina is about to open it, ST shows up and stops him. She warns him that it's his grandmother's secret room and no one is allowed to open it. Later that night, we see Debbie again. While listening to music, she suddenly hears whispers hidden within the songs. Frightened, she quickly turns off her music box. Then, she notices something outside her window. When she looks closely, it's her mom. Terrified, she freezes. Her mom's face is wounded, twisted, and horrifying. Debbie tries to convince herself it's just her imagination. She pulls the blanket over her face, but when she looks again, her mom is slowly walking toward her, her body bent and unnaturally twisted. Debbie is completely petrified. Step by step, her mom comes closer and closer until she's right beside the bed. And then, all we hear is Debbie scream. The next morning, Gayatri brings Debbie and Sina to her farmhouse. She tells Debbie that cattle farming has been their family business for generations. For the first time, Debbie witnesses a cow being slaughtered. The sight triggers something disturbing in her. She starts having strange hallucinations. It feels as if, instead of the animal, her own mother is lying there, and someone places a knife on her mother's throat and slits it open. Blood gushes out in a horrifying stream. The vision is so intense that Debbie starts vomiting. Gayatri and ST rush to steady her and help her recover. After that, Gayatri introduces Debbie to Mr. Jaka, a worker at the farm who will be showing her how everything operates. While going through the reports, Jaka mentions that for some unknown reason, the business has been running at a loss for the past 3-4 years. As Debbie starts reading the business history, she discovers something shocking. Her grandmother Gayatri has supposedly been running this business since 1935. That doesn't make sense. How could she be over 100 years old? She doesn't even look that old. The scene then shifts to the house, where Gayatri and ST are having a conversation. ST tells her that ever since Debbie and Sina arrived, the cattle farm has been doing much better. The livestock is healthier too. But at the same time, Gayatri's own health seems to be deteriorating. ST insists that they shouldn't delay the inheritance process any longer. As Sina passes by outside, he overhears part of their conversation and becomes suspicious. He tries to listen more closely, but accidentally drops something, alerting ST to his presence. Before she can see him, he quickly hides by the side of the room. Sina then rushes to Devi and tells her that their grandmother is seriously ill and has started talking about inheritance. He feels like something strange is going on. But Devi calms him down. saying that their grandmother is over 100 years old. After all, she's been running the farm since 1935. It's normal for elderly people to fall sick and talk like that. Sina leaves, but outside he notices something odd. The factory manager has secretly come to meet their father. Meanwhile, Devi goes into the kitchen to make herself some tea. As she's preparing it, she suddenly hears a strange whisper coming from the window. When she turns to look, she sees her mother standing there, and it terrifies her. She quickly turns around, only to find St behind her. Still shaken and unable to recognize her for a moment, Devi screams. St calms her down and asks what's wrong, but Devi doesn't reveal anything. Instead, she asks St a question. Has Gayatri really been running the factory since 1935? Surprised, St asks who told her that. Devi replies that Mr. Jaka mentioned it. St warned her, don't believe anything people say. A lot of people are jealous of your grandmother, your dad, and their business. They keep spreading ridiculous rumors. After giving her advice, St added, if you ever have any doubts, just go and ask your grandmother directly. Right after that, St runs to Gayatri and says, we don't have time. Jaka and Agan have already started their plan. We're running out of time. We've already waited 20 years. Whatever we have to do, we need to do it now. Gayatri replies, no, I need 2 more days for all of this. What exactly was going on here? That mystery will only be revealed at the end. Meanwhile, Jaka finds out that their office is closed today because Gayatri has planned an event at home to celebrate her children's arrival. Hearing this, Jaka becomes alert and immediately calls Mr. Egan, informing him that Gayatri and St are moving forward with their plan. Then we see Sina's dad arriving at the factory to pick her up. Handing her the car keys, he says, you drive. I've kept something for you in the trunk. Don't take it out today. Do it tomorrow. But before that, I need a promise from you. What promise was that? We're not told. Back at the house, Devi is brushing her teeth when she suddenly notices a dark figure standing behind her in the bathroom. She gets scared and turns around only to find St, who tells her, your grandmother is calling you. Meanwhile, St and Mr. Egan sits down to play chess. At the same time, Gayatri is talking to Devi about her habits, the kind of music she likes. She even shows Devi her own music collection, plays a song, and starts dancing with her. Devi feels really happy. But suddenly Gayatri collapses and loses consciousness. Outside, we see that Mr. Egan has lost the chess game to St. When St enters the room, she finds Gayatri unconscious. Devi and St place her on the bed together. Devi asks, what happened to her? St replies, she's sick. She often faints from overworking. St then tells Devi something even more serious, that after Gayatri dies, she will have to lead the entire family and take over the business. The scene cuts to Jaka meeting Mr. Egan again, this time with a box in their possession. Jaka asks, why is it so urgent to do all this right now? Mr. Egan responds, can't you see how fast everything is changing? The cattle farm started improving the moment they arrived. The truth is, ever since my 2 children came back, the demon inside my mother has awakened. This is where the movie's big twist is finally revealed. Gayatri was actually possessed by a demon all along. The thing Devi kept seeing again and again wasn't some random presence. It was the very demon living inside this house. And this entity only inhabits the women of the family. It first lived inside Gayatri, and now it wants to move into Devi. That's why both Gayatri and St kept telling her that she had to take responsibility for this inheritance. It becomes clear that the demon inside Gayatri is now trying to take over Devi's body. Ever since Devi arrived, Gayatri's health had been getting worse because the demon was slowly consuming her from within. It needed a new body, a younger one. St was also involved with Gayatri in carrying out these dark rituals. But Egan and Jaka were not. They were actually trying to stop all of this. Egan wanted to save his children's lives. We then see Egan return home with a secret box. Inside it is a strange old knife, along with pictures of him and his mother. He breaks down in tears, and we realize his plan. He wanted to kill his own possessed mother so that the demon inside her would die too, protecting Devi and Sina. But before Mr. Egan could carry out his plan, St arrives and stabs him in the neck, killing him instantly. She then drags his body away. Morning comes, and we see Jaka, who had been called by Mr. Agan to meet early. But when he arrives, he finds Agan's dead body hanging. It looks like a suicide. However, there's also a knife wound on his neck. Just then, the rest of the staff shows up, sees Jaka near the body, and immediately assumes he's the killer. They start chasing him, and Jaka runs for his life. Soon after, Sina and Devi arrive and try to question everyone, but no one gives them any answers. When they go inside, they see their father's lifeless body and completely break down. They hadn't even recovered from their mother's death, and now their father is gone too. Sina is shattered. He tells Devi they need to leave this place immediately, but Devi refuses. No matter how much Sina tries to convince her that something is terribly wrong here, she won't listen. At that moment, St approaches Sina and tells him that Jaka is responsible for everything. While he's processing this, he receives a message from an unknown number: "Meet me alone at the slaughterhouse." Sina leaves right away. Now the scene shifts to Devi in her room. She's holding a picture of her parents, crying uncontrollably. Suddenly, she hears her mother's voice from behind. She looks toward the sofa and sees her mother sitting there, perfectly fine. That's the moment she completely breaks down. She runs to her, holds her hand, and rests her head in her lap, crying and asking why she left them. But then the truth is revealed. She wasn't resting her head in her mother's lap at all. It was the demon's lap. And this is the very demon that wants to possess Devi next. Here we see that it wasn't anyone else. Jaka himself had called Sina, trying to reveal the whole truth to him. He was trying to explain the mystery surrounding his house, but Sina was no longer willing to listen. He too believed that the one who killed Mr. Agan was none other than Jaka. Before Jaka could finish what he was saying, Sina stabbed him to death. As Jaka is dying, he tells Sina to go and open his trunk. Sina realizes that his dad had said the same thing earlier, and now it hits him that he's made a terrible mistake. He rushes home and opens the trunk. Inside, he finds a book titled The Prophet Inheritance. The book contains the entire history of their family. It also explains a ritual that their family has been performing for generations. Cut to Devi, who runs to Gayatri in a terrified state. She tells her, "I think I'm going crazy. I keep seeing my mom. Sometimes she appears in a horrifying form, but today she seemed kind and gentle." Interrupting her, Gayatri asks, "Do you want to meet your mom?" She says she knows a ritual that can make it possible, but it will be a bit painful. Devi replies, "I don't care. I just want to see my mom." The moment she says this, Gayatri pulls out a knife and cuts her own hand. Then she tells Devi to do the same, and Devi follows. After that, Gayatri clasps her hand. Outside, Sina is reading about the ritual. The book says that by doing this, an entity can transfer from one body to another. It also mentions that the ritual begins when a new woman enters the family, and that woman is Devi. Sina understands everything. His sister's life is in danger. He also reads that once the ritual is complete, the brother is sacrificed. He doesn't care about his own life anymore. He just wants to save Devi. But he has no idea that he's already too late. Gayatri has completed the ritual. Sina starts frantically searching for Devi throughout the house. When he doesn't find her in her room, he rushes into another room where he finds her unconscious, surrounded by blood everywhere. Panicking, Sina picks her up and tries to escape the house. But just as he's about to leave in the car, Asti attacks him from behind and knocks him unconscious. When they regain consciousness, they find themselves dressed in white clothes. Asti is dressed the same way. And here, a shocking secret is revealed. Asti is not one of them, but a servant of the demon. She worships the demon and has been working for it all along. Now, she is going to complete the ritual and sacrifice Sina. Devi is still not fully conscious and has no idea what's happening. She sees Asti holding a knife. Asti walks over to Sina and slits his throat, collecting his blood in a glass. Then she brings it to Devi and forcefully pours the blood into her mouth. After this, Devi looks around and sees many women standing there. All of them belong to the same family, and together they are performing the ritual. Then Asti starts chanting. As soon as she does, Gayatri transforms into Devi's mother. The moment Devi emotionally breaks down, we see black smoke entering her mouth. In reality, the demon had weakened her emotionally and taken possession of her body. The ritual is now complete. Davy now belongs to the devil, and with that, the story comes to an end. Subscribe to this channel for more stories like this.